With MW3 about to drop, let's take a look back at the steaming hot dumpster fire that we've been playing since November last year. This year, hopefully, has been a wake-up call for Call of Duty as a series, and let us hope we don't have to deal with a game like this again for a very long time. Okay, so I'll start with the minimap changes. I'm not sure who thought this was a good idea, but boy was it easy to see that this was a dumb thing to implement after Modern Warfare 2019. Infinity Ward really thought they knew better than the entire community on this one. Evidently not. With the lack of red dots basically making the minimap completely useless. For me, Dead Silence as a field upgrade is really stupid, and this is a little less controversial, but I honestly think this is as bad as the minimap issues. The evidence is all there that, Infinity Ward at least, doesn't want a real skill gap. Instead, we had super loud footsteps so that even someone playing on TV speakers could hear, discouraging players from moving around for the fear of being heard halfway across the map. I just don't see any world where they can think this was a good idea. I really miss the old gen spawns. Gone are the days of spawn trapping efficiently. I know it's not to everyone's taste, but ultimately it defeats the object of game modes like Domination, making it a team deathmatch with the super long runtime. Even looking in the direction of spawn seems to flip it in this game. I remember Domination being my go-to game mode. Now the only game mode with some semblance of where people will be spawning is Hardpoint. Spawns were broken in a completely different way on the MW3 beta, but I'll remain hopeful for that as the backlash was so evident. And Sledgehammer have a decent track record of actually listening to the community. The delay of perks is an interesting one for sure. Bruh, just give us the perks we choose. Imagine choosing a gun to use and have to use your knife for the first minute of a game. I can't imagine how annoying this must have been for CDL players. This has no place in COD and should never be added again. And on top of that, perk packages? Why? It accomplishes nothing but to make it more difficult to change your setup according to the type of people you're playing against, or the style of play you want to implement yourself. The Gunsmith somehow got worse. It's such a chore to build a loadout on this game. It's yet to be seen whether or not this is an issue in MW3, but when 90% of the attachments for a gun are completely useless, it should tell you everything you need to know about the system. The amount of new weapons added might as well have been attachments for stuff that's already in the game. This just feels extremely lazy from Infinity Ward, surprise surprise. A huge studio and they still recycle content with every game they release. And don't get me started on weapon tuning. What a waste of time. The lack of accurate stats for attachments and weapons is super annoying too. Having to use third-party websites just to view this information is stupid. Honestly, I am fully expecting that they will be asking us to read Braille to figure out where we are being shot from soon enough. This seems a lot better in MW3, but wow, did they overdo the visual clutter on MW2. When your own gun is helping the enemy to be harder to see, there is a huge problem. And to be honest, this also goes against their profit margins, surely. When the darker the skin, the harder you are to see. Just make everyone easy to see, and then it'll be easier for them to sell these brightly coloured skins. Although, I don't think they're struggling to do that, so maybe not. The movement on this game, I think we can all agree, was the worst of any new-gen COD, and it's not even close. This, as we all well know, has been fixed on MW3, allowing for us to actually move around the map without feeling like we have concrete feet. No bunny hopping, secondary and primary grenade movement penalties, and jump shot penalties to name a few. Ledge hanging is just annoying and has no real world use. It took 4 seasons to actually buff the slide, and even now it's still complete dog water compared to MW 2019. The removal of reload cancelling was hardly thought out either. Aim walk or risk getting destroyed by someone that is. And if I get blocked by a teammate standing in a doorway on MW3 as much as I do on MW2, I'm going to lose my mind. Overall, this really must go down as one of the worst CODs in history. Sure, maybe it's not the worst, as it is fun sometimes, ranked mode specifically, but almost everything else was such a pathetic excuse for a Call of Duty title, and that's saying quite a lot. Let's just hope MW3 doesn't repeat the failings of MW2.